Harry Sullivan, Rocky's father, was my uncle. He called me when he was very sick. And he said, Jerry, I was calling you to go into a marriage, he said. And he explained to me about that time you could only one card. Even if your father owned it, and your someone belonged to owned it, a building place, you weren't allowed work there. You couldn't work anywhere, only as a pork butcher. That's why they had to go to England.
So carpenters did
so So he said to me, he said, I was called to go into a marriage, he said. And I said to my wife, I got a call about 5 o'clock, I'll go in the next morning. And I said to my wife was saying, oh jeez, thank God, we're going to get a better work, he said. Because now he said we'd be able to pay off some of our bills. The whole plan was there. So he went into work the next morning, came home, everyone's come home at 1 o'clock, and go back to work at 2. And then he said, when he came home then at 5 o'clock, he said, I have to go back to work tonight, working over them. Oh jeez, that's great, he said. Now we'll be started. About 9:30 in O'Mara's factory, he said, the boss called him. He said, what's your number? He said, 32. I said, we don't need you tomorrow because there's not enough pigs coming in. So he had to go home and tell his wife that there was no more work. That's how hard it was then. See, people don't realise it. Oh, this is what these people went through.
Yeah.
So why don't I tell you? My own mother told me this story, because my dad was the president of the pork butchers before me, many years ago. I don't remember it. But there was one of his best pals wouldn't pay his union money. And they were pals all together. He said, no, you have to pay the union money, because if you don't pay the union money, you won't work. So he remembered it to work next morning. They all stood outside and said to the boss, if he's working, we're not working. So the boss said, I'm the boss here, he's working. He said, that's grand. They all stood aside. The boss had to come back and said, well, you better go home, because I can't afford it. I have loads of pigs here, that's wicked. I have to let these people in. And then you went and paid his money the next week. But that's how strict they were.
Yeah.
And my mother said, it was very hard because we palled around with these people. So this was what we were brought up with, right? And while I'm talking about it, we'll talk about one of the pork butchers was Jim Larkin said about the Limerick pork butchers. This has to go on record because this means so much to us. Jim Larkin said their names should be paved in gold. He said, because even though they had so little money, they paid more money up to Dublin with the strike was on. They gave more money, and Larkin said, these people have given more money than anyone. He said, we did. No, you have to remember, these people had nothing.
Yeah.
But you see, the strike was fixed. When there was a strike and the pork butchers were on their own, one strike for 7 weeks, and the Bishop of Limerick, Bishop of the Wire, came up on his horse, his white horse, and he fixed the strike. So they said after that, to honour the Bishop,
10th of August.
They were great Catholics that time. Now, that time they were proud to be Catholics, not like today, I don't want to mention them, but they were proud of it. So what happened was, they said from this day onwards, every year we will not work on Ladies' Day, the 15th of August, Our Lady's birthday. If we went to St. John's Cathedral, the whole place is done up because their money would be done it up. So that's how much these people.
And there's a plaque on the wall there, pillar.
In
St. John's Cathedral,
They took time off every year up to the time we closed. We never worked a day. And that time now, a day's wages was an awful lot when I was there and when Jim was there. But they sacrificed that day to remember it. And I said this, which is, the trade, and I'm saying this now for these people here, the Limerick pork butchers were accredited trade unions.
Yeah.
But the credit unions, the trade unions weren't as faithful as we were to them.
Yeah,
okay.
Because when our factory was closing, and I'm saying this now in all honesty, because I was the chairman, when our factory was closing, we got a list of people, it was handed to me. These people, if their factories to stay open, these people will not be employed here anymore. That was the decision we had to make. There was 26 names on it. I'm not going to mention any names. But there was great trade unionists there. Blokes that stood by the union all the time. There was some blokes might have done him and they've been good or bad. That's neither here there, because the desperate had two other proceeds. And we decided that myself and the committee, we would put it to the men. And every man on that floor said, close it. Because we are not going to. Could you just picture if we'd said we'd agreed to it and 2 months later they closed it anyway after we'd sell out our own people?
Yeah.
So that was the loyalty the pork butchers had to Limerick. And we thought us, close it. But we will not sell out any of our people to anyone. Now, at the time, I was only married 2 years. I was back from England. And I had 3 young kids. And the manager said to me, you'll regret this, Jerry, when this place closes. The manager no longer is dead. I said, I'll have never any regrets. Because it's in our DNA as people. We're pork butchers. We went through the tough times, we took them. But we always stood together. Is that right, Jim?
Yeah.
We always stood together. We might
There's a lot of damage as well.
we mightn't have liked one another.
There's a lot of damage as well.
I know, we did, but what I'm saying is this, which is, we stood by those principles that was handed down to us. And as a boy, I remember going to Clover Meats one day, and we did to get a cigarette, where there was a little room we could smoke, and I was told, you can't come in here. This is all married men talking now. You're only a single boy. That's the gospel truth.
And that was the rules and regulations.
That was the discipline they had.
Yeah.
They had great respect. They looked after everyone. They fought for everyone. But they had the discipline. You, as a boy,
And respect.
when you're a man, you can join us. But as a boy, you can't. Because we're talking about men's
Some of
stuff.
the boys are over 30 years ago.
I know.
What forgot men's payment.
That was the way it was. So this was
John
the discipline
Hayes
that was
was
in that factory. And the same in O'Mara's and Matterson's, I presume every one of them.
But
So-
Chair, I wouldn't apportion blame on the butchers for the closure of Clover Meats. No way in the world.
But it needs to be explained to people why it closed.
They're all closed now.
Not
Clover
really, Chair,
Meats.
but yeah, that's what I'm saying.
But it
What
needs to go on
exclusively
record.
did O'Mara's and
Yeah.
Matterson's
Ali.
get used to close their factory?
Ah, no, the
And then-
business is gone anyway.
And then
Ali.
Clover in Waterford also closed.
Listen.
Denise is there yet, is it?
This is the thing you
That's
have to
only
remember.
me.
Clover Meats was built on bankers' money. And the principle of the whole thing was brilliant. The principle was that the farmers would bring in the pigs, they'll create the work, they'll guarantee some of the pigs will always come in.
Yeah.
Right? So that was the principle of it. And then everyone would be working away, the workers to get the good continuous work, which we did. It was great. But the banks then, in the 70s, started to want the money back. Now, Clover money with some very bad boys. They bought Denny's up in Dublin. They were advertising this. They were losing money left
They
hand
bought a
and
place in Callan and Kilkenny.
they were
Ah,
buying.
that was a small one.
Yeah, but still,
Make
yeah.
well.
But they didn't know what they were doing. They were buying, and the banks were putting pressure on them the whole time.
Make-
Look
make
at all the
gradual
damage we've done
reform.
ourselves. And pigs been sent to Waterford. Because they
Yeah,
couldn't be.
what was the reason
Because we
for
were
it?
on
Like,
strike.
who caused the problems, you know?
But the point
wouldn't
about that,
have
Jim, is
apportioned
this,
blame
that
on
we
no
need
good
to look at
reason. Strikes for no
ourselves.
good reason.
Jim, we need to criticise ourselves as well.
Yeah, no good reason for strikes.
No,
Not many.
but Jim, the point about that is this, which is you
It
have to
didn't
be
help
honest
the
about yourself.
situation.
Is this? You know, we need honesty. If we have to remember the people of the state, we need honesty. There was times when we deserved to go out on official strikes and we never got them in Dublin.
Yeah.
They wouldn't give them to us. We never got an official strike. We always had to work for ourselves to fight those strikes. We didn't get them. Now, we did go out and strike when we shouldn't have gone out and strike. That's neither there. There was elements in our place. But behind it all, we had very high principles. The day the trade union came down, before Clover Meats came down, and they said, "You owe us some money." I said to them, "Excuse me a minute." I said, the people who worked all their life in this factory, and now they're leaving, they've been closed down. And you're talking about, we owe you some money. Come off it, I said to them. At your age, please. You know, we deserve some respect. Because what happened is, if I was in England, the poor butcher was still paying money to the unions for me.
Yeah.
So we were paying money left hand and right and centre that we shouldn't have been paid. So anyway, we paid them the money. But I thought to myself, they weren't fair to us. Do you know what I mean? People there with young families, old families, people that keep 40 years there.
That couldn't afford it
My
to pay
brother
these
there-
contributions.
My brother, when he died, I'm just saying this, I said to his wife, you should be entitled to somebody out of the union for a death grant, €50 or something, £50 plus pounds. And they said, no, he wasn't. They made inquiries, he wasn't. Because when he was unemployed, he didn't keep up his payments after doing 40 or 50 years at the business. So what are we talking about? You know, when I walk out of here, or any of these men walk out of here, I'm proud that I belong to Weaver Pork Butchers. But I can't say the same about the trade union movement. Because they're more committed to their pensions and looking after the government. They're in with the governments and here, they're getting jobs here and there. We didn't. We walked out, that's what I'm saying, that was handed down to us. We had to make big decisions and we made them as one. We didn't always agree. But we made a decision that had to be made and that was it. Those people did not deserve to be on that list. Now, I do believe myself that the day I die, the company knew we wouldn't agree to it. But they tried to blackmail us.
It was only a handy way out for them next
It was a handy way out. Now, Ali said it
and
here.
blame it on the workers.
One is for me
What
close.
about all the other factors that's gone?
Yeah, what was the reason for it? It wasn't because how many
Oh, the taste of people
in the
changed, I
industrial
think.
problems.
Yes, industrial.
And Roscoe or
Yeah. It was all changed.
What
Due
was
to
the-
change
Lemon.
costs.
Lunham's, the
It
Cork
was
is
due
gone.
to change.
Yes.
And why is all the bacon factories in Ireland
One of
gone then?
Cabin's,
Because of the
McCann's of
the growth of
Cabin.
the Danish
Handies of,
bacon trade. They destroyed
And there's
Ireland.
of Roscommon, isn't that? They're all gone, sure.
It was the Danish bacon industry that destroyed Irish bacon industry.
Okay.
Denmark
That's well
and
known,
Holland,
isn't it?
when they began
Oh,
to
it's
produce,
cheaper, yeah.
the Danes produced mass amount of pigs. I think one time they were up to 15 million pigs they were
Oh, yeah.
producing for their bacon
Oh, you
industry.
know about the big
They
side
swamped
of it,
Europe with their bacon. And then they cut down the salt
Content.
contents in curing the bacon. They cured it different and just horrible bacon
They had
today.
bigger markets. There was a time that we had about 480 people working in
That's
Clover
right.
Meats because they were doing stainless sausages for Smithies in England. It was a massive. And every young people came in off the road. They came from every part of Limerick, the county Limerick as well. Now, we made our decision about closing the place. But there was other people who worked there that hadn't the decision to make. The office workers, they had no say in the matter. The engineers, the electricians, they had no say in the matter. It was our decision that this is it. And we made it.
And you'd
But I
wonder
tell you this,
what
but
went
just-
wrong, Jerry, with
What?
Clover. In the boom times there, they were killing cattle, sheep and pigs. And the canning was going,
Everything.
that was going. Where did all that the money from that business go?
Because, Ali, the thing about
The banks took it.
They bought the banks were after their money, and you can't blame them. And when things went wrong then, everything started closing down.
Yeah.
Now, I have to hold my hands up here. We were very slow for changes.
Very, very
We
slow.
were very slow for changes.
Should have moved with the times.
We didn't move with the times.
Yeah.
We didn't move with the times because we used to have a hand cart like, which was a pad. You go and put 6 sides of bacon on it, you'd roll it on, you put it on the scale, and that's it. And then they came along with and said, look, we get these hand up things for you, pump up pigs.
It's labour intensive, I suppose.
And
at
we'd
the
pay
time,
up 40 sides. And you know what I mean? And then everyone would be walking, it was walking faster and faster. But nobody wanted these changes.
Okay.
And then after a while, people
Look at
realised...
Madison's, the oldest bacon factory in Ireland.
Yeah.
And one of the best in the world at one time. That went.
1820.
And you know,
Madison.
the thing about
I
this...
mean,
was just-
Dennis of Tralee went like, and that's one of the top one as well. And they
Well,
only
I
went
think Dennis
recently
is
now,
there, isn't
Dennis.
it? Dennis gone.
Oh, that factory's gone. It's gone about
Right.
20 years, I'd say.
And there's McCann's and Handies of
They're all gone
up
roasty.
country. And where's
They're
the
all
bacon
gone.
coming from?
The continent.
Probably
Mostly
even
from
Gaeltacht
Denmark
by
and
now. Is that
Holland.
actually Irish?
They swamped
Yeah.
the Irish market.
Having a clue.
Pig
The
industry,
No, but I
cheap-
thought there was some factories here.
the pig industry was very intensified.
What about,
Because all
I'm not sure if
workers,
Ross
you know,
Gray's thing.
That's
Yeah,
Limerick.
labour intensive.
labour
yeah.
They're the
intensified.
northern
Yeah.
side
And
of the
then
town.
modern
Yeah.
technology.
I mean, one of the top ones in most up to recent times was Mitchellstown.
The constant
That's
noise.
fine.
And what about
How many
fresh
pigs-
offal? Where's the fresh offal?
How many
from?
pigs did I bring?
You have those stories on.
No, so we just took a brief pause there. I still have Jerry O'Sullivan with me, and we still had Ollie O'Brien and Jim O'Brien and Maureen with us there prior to this. So today is still the 2nd of December. No, sorry, Jerry. Okay, we might continue on again. Maybe from the start, how did you get involved in Clover Meats? So maybe from the start, what age were you when you got involved? Or
I started in Clover Meats when I was about 16, 17.
16 or 17, okay.
As a boy. Do you know what I mean? That's a boy. And the work, there was great camaraderie there.
Yeah.
There was a great, and I suppose that I met my wife there as well.
Did you? Oh my God, okay, we'll come back to that. So.
Everybody knew their wives there. Do you know what I
Okay.
mean? This is it. And it was hard then because there'd be, if it was all off around, everyone was talking.
Oh God,
Jeez,
gossip.
So this is it. You know what I mean? And then the girls were great laugh. They had great laugh and a joke there. It was terrible. You know what I mean? There was a great banter going on there. It was a great place. Hard work.
Yeah.
But a great. And then there was people came in that weren't butchers, because if there was other butchers, other walking, other people came in, and they were known as Yanks.
Yeah.
So, and Yankee boys. So they distinguished them. But we were all palled around together. So
Okay.
we had fabulous times there.
Okay.
Do you know? And then what you do is you'd stop the manager then, about 4 or 5 of us. I think all of us would be when we were around the same age. And you say, Mr. O'Connor, any chance you know this manager? He was a Kilkenny hurler.
Okay.
But you have to remember this. That time there was no week in hand.
Okay,
Right,
you just
so-
started the job, or
At the start, there was no week in hand. You just come in, we worked Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, you got
Yeah.
paid. So that was it, there was no week in hand. But if any tragedy came in your
like
way,
bereavement, or
bereavement or anything,
Yeah.
he'd call the people aside and he said, go into the office there. And he said, get it whatever you want. And don't pretend none of my business. He had a big heart. Like
very
that.
good.
He was a
Okay, and
big
who's
heart.
this man? So
The
who's
manager,
Mr.
Mr.
O'Connor,
O'Connor.
and what's his first name?
Leo O'Connor.
Leo, okay.
O'Connor. But then what people would know, the course people, workers can never give stories. They
Yeah.
always say, Jesus, look that way. And there was a bridge across Clover Meads. And this, they had planned, you see. One was on one side of the bridge, and the other was on the other side of the bridge, and he was wanting to cross. And the two of them came from behind and said, Mr. O'Connor, my wife's after having a child. And I need a few pounds. You can't have a christening without a dry christening.
Yeah.
Christening was there was no drink. So he said, that's grand. So, and he said to me, what you doing? I'm standing for the child. He said,
Stop the God.
and there was no child. There was no child.
See,
But
good
they got
lad.
when they were looking for money, that was the kind of art that was great. And everyone could see him above. They knew what was going on.
Yeah.
And there was this chap anyway. I won't give names because I never like names.
Okay.
No names. This is another true story. And he went in and he said, I've given up the drink. He said to the manager, he said, I want to start a new life. He said, I'm going to be going up fishing, have my rubber boots and all, and I go fishing every night up Lassie. And he said, man says, go up and see Mr. So-and-so. The man used to give out the money. Tell him I said to give out $5. So he went, so I said, what, the man said, what's the $5 for? Oh, I said, I have to get it. I'd call up, I'd buy the fish and blah, 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 blah. Do you know what I mean? I'll be up Lassie every night, I'll be drinking no more again. And the man gave him the money $5 and said, sign there for it.
Yeah.
And he said, I hope you catch someone. And he turned around and he said to him, didn't I catch you?
Stop. Lesson.
Do you know?
Yeah.
So,
He was a nice boss.
that was the story. Do you know what I mean? So they were great characters. They were great drinkers, great characters, great workers.
Okay.
But behind it all, we all have weaknesses. And that was our weaknesses, this, which is, they were all intermarried. Do you know what I mean? So then if I married you, and we had a son, and you had you, and you had your family had someone who was out of work, they said, well, can you get my son in? So you'd say, look, I recommend this young fella for a job.
I
They'd give
get
it.
you,
And that's why
okay.
it came from all over, from the county and all the work. There was great harmony there.
But it was was it word of mouth as well that
It
you'd
was
get
a
a
lot
job?
of word
Or?
of mouth.
Yeah.
And if you were recommended someone, they got the job. Because they knew this is it.
Yeah.
That's what the way it was.
Yeah.
And they'd have functions, they'd have dances and all. No, I went to England when I was 20, 21. I thought myself I was going over there. But I didn't say I was leaving. I said I'd just run away for a few minutes, for a while, for holidays, in case. You see,
They take you off the books.
if you went to England and you came back after 2 or 3 weeks, oh, everyone was like, oh, he ran home to his mother. All this type of thing. No, he couldn't stick it. So I said, well, that's not going to happen to me. I'm only going on holidays, I said, to England. So I went to holidays and I stayed there for 11 years. And I got married. I stayed there for 11 years. And when I came back then, I went back in the factory. I came back in 1970. So I was there, and then I was elected chairperson around 74, 75.
Yeah.
And that's what's when you're chairperson of the Butchers Society.
Yeah.
That meant you were chairman of O'Mara's and Matteson's as well.
Oh, okay.
That's because you were all in one. So if there was trouble down there, the chairman and his vice chairman would have to get on and sort it out.
Yeah.
But there was never much trouble there.
Okay.
That's where the story was.
And you were based in Clovermeads, weren't you?
I was based in Clovermeads,
Okay.
but I wouldn't be caught to those factories very often.
Okay.
But that was the situation where that's how it operated.
Okay.
And that's what said is what. That's why I came into them when they were closing.
Okay.
And you know, there was blokes on that list. They should never been on any list.
Okay.
You know, really genuine blokes. But I think they were put on it. Too much says this, which is, if we can get this list through and we keep the factory open, we'll have broken them. But you can't break people if they're 40 years.
Yeah.
It doesn't come to the end. Do you know?
And there was nothing for them.
There was
after,
nothing
it?
else there.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? And that's where we had to stand. Now, we had our faults. Do you know what I mean? But I never worked in any industry where it wasn't. And I was always told, when you're going in and negotiate with bosses, you need 3 people, right? You need one that will shout and roar, right? This is the truth. This is no lies. One will shout and roar, right?
Yeah.
And say, we want this, we want that. Then you want another fella that's listening to the thing the whole time. Then the other fella just disagreeing with the bosses and they're saying something, we're adding other things onto the thing. And then you have one fella in the middle. And the fella in the middle is taking that, is not saying anything, but is listening to all that's going on.
Yeah.
And he's the bloke that knows how much we're going to get or how much we have to give. Do you understand?
Yeah.
That's it. That's the bloke that worked in England, he worked in Ireland, he worked everywhere. That's the way negotiations went on those times.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? So that was always the best. So we would, the poor butchers would elect a 9-man committee. So there'd be 3 for every 4 years. 3 would do the, or 12 with that. Then 3, you do 3 months and then you step down. You're still on the committee.
Yeah.
And then the next 3 would take over and they'd be told, you know what I mean, we're in negotiations here. And the chairman, whether you like the chairman or not, you had your total backing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Total backing. And that was the way it worked. But that's the way negotiations worked all the time. But it doesn't work with people that's in the factory for too long. For the simple reason is they're set in their ways.
Yeah.
They're not open to change. Do you see, that's why you need Americans coming in. Knock off that, I'll tell you 1 or 2 things.
Right.
Just a second.
Yeah. What?
Hit the
That's it, just
Red.
a second.
No, sorry, Jerry. So
When
you're
we
going to
got
say...
noticed that Clovermeats was closing, John Tracy, who was with Clovermeats in Waterford, we all had a meeting, because we used to meet regularly, and he said, Jerry said, will you do us a favour? He said, will you let the pigs that you would have been getting if they do close you,
Yeah.
will you give them to us,
Yeah, for Waterford.
to Waterford, with your good wishes. And then if Clovermeats open again, we will gladly give them back to you.
Okay.
But it'll be keeping our continuity of the pigs.
Yeah.
And I said, gladly. No, everyone didn't agree with me.
Yeah.
Because they weren't thinking ahead. Because we didn't know whether we were going to be closed or not. This was all happening very fast. So I said to him, you can't have that. And you'll give him back to us. And he said, Jerry, you have my word on it, I'll give him back to you. And they were he was a great negotiator. But that's what you were up against now. But Waterford closed.
And when did Waterford close, Jerry?
It closed about 2-3 years after.
And you closed in 77? 77, okay.
77. Then Waterford closed.
Yeah,
Dublin closed.
yeah.
You see, when they bought Denny's, when they bought Donnelly's in Dublin,
So when Clover Meats bought
So-
Donnelly's.
it was a very bad boy.
Right, okay.
Because the pigs from the area was not being fed properly. They were only all slimy pigs. This up.
Yeah, okay.
Do you know what I mean? From the hotels, all the up, hotels. But to justify the amount of money they paid for it, and to keep it going, we used to have to send a lorry driver up in the morning. Up early in the morning, he'd come in, and often he'd drive up to Dublin, load up all his stuff, and he'd come back late at night. And then any of the stuff that we couldn't sell that had to be dumped, it was still charged to Limerick. Because they didn't want Donnelly's in Dublin to be looking. They bought it, they had to make sure that it was doing very well.
Yeah.
They were advertising
It was on a
Donnelly's
show.
on the radio, it was on a show.
Yeah.
But anything then, so then when we were paid, for our money was being paid for, being charged to Limerick, all the expenses and the losses. So if they send down 30,000 pounds worth of stuff, no matter how much of it we use, that 30,000 pounds was charged to us if we only got 20,000 pounds worth of it. So in other words, they were making Dublin look good,
Okay.
and at the expense of Limerick.
Okay.
And then what happened? Then when you started to close Limerick, the whole thing fell apart. Now you have to ask yourself, why was the companies that was doing so well, all of a sudden Limerick closed, Waterford closed, Cork closed, Dublin closed,
Yeah.
and there's no Clover Meats now?
Okay.
That's the question. I remember doing negotiations, and there was a minister in Limerick, and he said, don't be blaming the pork butchers for everything. You can't be blaming them for everything.
And why were people blaming the pork butchers?
Because we wouldn't agree to the changes.
Okay.
The change of that list of named people.
Okay, and what were the changes, Jerry?
The changes were that those people would have to go. Now, if we had agreed
okay.
to that, and then we put in one more thing, we'd still have gone.
You reckon it would have closed regardless of the
Because
changes?
it proved it. The banks were after them.
Right.
We knew that. We knew that we were taught that the banks were after them.
Yeah.
So what they would do is, if you wanted to get pigs into Limerick,
Yeah.
and you're coming up to Limerick, you say, I have 100 pigs coming. You can't bring them to Limerick, they're on strike. But Limerick weren't on strike,
And who was saying that?
because they didn't want them.
But like, who was the person saying that they're...
The boss, the people.
The boss, okay.
Do you understand? So what I'm saying is this, but there was pressure coming from everywhere.
Okay.
Now, I'm prepared to put my name to that. For you, that's it, that's why I said it.
Okay.
Because this is truth. I'm not criticising the pork butchers.
Yeah.
We had our faults. We didn't move with the times,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But we can't take the blame for it.
Yeah.
And we can't
If it was
take the blame
gonna
for every
close
other factor
regardless.
going.
Okay.
Come back earlier on. In Russia, we sent people out to Russia to show
Yeah.
the Russians how to do it.
Yeah.
So in other words, that's why I said, if there's a stone gone up, you see, I feel guilty in a sense because I missed a lot of years in Clover Meats.
Yeah,
'Cause I
11
away
was it?
making my own life when I went to England.
Yeah.
But when I came back, I said, got in again. And then I was there for the finale of it. But the thing about this, which is, it's very hard when you go home at night
Yeah.
and you know that people who never done anything wrong are going to lose their jobs.
I know.
That's a hard decision to make, right?
Yeah.
I was at a meeting in Waterford one time with the bosses, and I went to speak, and next time I said, Mr. Sullivan, we're not going to allow you to speak,
Okay.
because you're down here telling us something, but there's a strike on the Clover Meats in Limerick.
Yeah.
And my feet was cut from under me. I didn't know it was that.
Okay.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So this is what happened. So you see, you had people who said, well, look on strike and the fact that you were aware. So these things would happen. But that's what happened. So you had to say, shh, I didn't know that.
Okay. And Jerry, just going back, what year was the strike then? What year was that? Or was there a couple of strikes? There wasn't
that many strikes
Okay.
at all. There wasn't that many. There could be unofficial stoppages and one thing or another.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And the thing about this, which is, they knew the whole thing was going, and everyone, do you know, in any situation, we all try to cover ourselves, right? But if we all start covering ourselves, there's an awful lot of people who won't be able to cover.
Okay.
That's reality. That's been the way it always will be. That's industrial relations.
Okay.
Go knock that off, and I'll explain something.
I'm just going to pause again. Okay.
So
Right.
that's clover meats.
So Jerry, did you started there so at a young age?
At 17,
17,
about
and you
21.
went in.
Then I went away and came back. So in other words, I was there about 11 or 12 years.
Okay.
But my brother was there all his life.
Okay.
Jim there was all his life. Ollie, they never
yeah.
went.
Yeah.
Then
But you know, when you started there, Jerry, what did you do when you started there? Were you like, were you on the killing line or?
no, you'd be doing boys' work.
Okay.
Boys' work would have been, to explain it to you, there was different types of work. So what would happen is this, British. You would kill about 2,000 pounds a week, 2,000 pigs a week, right? And the 2,000 pigs were coming in the busy season. That meant the more pigs was coming in, the more people was jobbed.
Yeah.
So, do you know what I mean? You might be left go for a few months and then you'll be back again. And more people will be coming in because they were getting orders from England.
Okay.
And all the export was going off. Stuff was being exported out. Lorry loads of stuff was being exported out. The best of bacon, everything.
Yeah.
Then all the bacon was graded A, B, C, you know what I mean?
Okay.
So this is it. And that was it. So that created all the work. So what happened then is this, which is through the summer times, people would be buying bacon, but they wouldn't be buying hams.
Okay.
So the hams would be put into deep freeze, big deep freezer. And then when the Christmas time, when everyone's looking for hams, they'd all be come out.
Oh,
they were all
very clever.
clean, gone in, and so this is so you'd be clean. So what would happen is this, to just give you an idea, 2,000 pigs, 600 till you're 500, would start about 12:30. My brother Don was one of the blokes that would kill the pigs.
Okay.
I was often up there myself, pushing the pigs around. Because what they do is they chain up a pig by the leg, and then they just stick him. It was the easiest way, and he'd take himself out, and then you pull him around, and they go into this big vat, so the bloke would lift him up and put him into the vat, and would take off all the hair off him. Then they go down, somebody would open them up and take out the bellies. Then they go down, they go in, the hairs will be burned off them, down along the line. Everyone would be doing some different things. And as a boy then, when they were coming back up the line, you had to push them up along the line and separate them, because there means so there'd be air for the good, so they wouldn't be stuck against one another.
Yeah.
And then the next morning you come in and they could be killed, go to the cutting.
Okay.
And then there'd be all different jobs done.
Right, so that's when you first started, and then you left.
When I left,
you came back then.
And when you come back then, you come back as a man. You see, but I was a man. I was a man when I got married. So I came back to there, and then it was going well as well.
Okay.
But like everything else, everything changes.
Yeah.
You see, and when things change, you have to change with them.
Okay.
Do you understand? Just like if you're going over a girl, when you get married, you're a married man now. You can't be doing things you've done as a single person.
I know.
And that's the life is, and that's where it was. So then we used to have to go in early in the morning.
Yeah.
Loading vans. All the vans would have to be loaded. So at 5 o'clock you go in at 5 o'clock in the morning and you load all the vans.
Okay.
They'd all be loaded up, all the stuff be gone off, all the vans be gone out on the road early.
And these were going to shops then, or
To go to shops
Dublin?
all over the country, all over Munster.
Okay.
There was so many bacons that everything would be filled up. The night before they'd be all filled up what they were on, and you put them into each van, so you know.
Okay.
And that was the way it was. So, and the work was hard.
Yeah, I can imagine.
But at the same time, there was a great camaraderie there. Do you know, that's what I loved about it. There was a great camaraderie there. There was a great banter there.
Good.
If they thought it was all off with your girlfriend, they'd be slagging you, going on, sending. That was the way it was. They were the wittiest people ever to work with. You couldn't say nothing. Do you know, if we said something, they were that quick. They were that quick, and do you know what I mean? This is it. And do you know what I mean? And there was one chap that used to be always singing at the killing, and the manager would pass up the floor and he said, "Is so-and-so not at work at all today?"
Oh, there'd be no singing.
He'd notice him, but he'd be saying to him, he's not at the so, and that was the way it went. But what was said about it was, you would listen to what happened before.
Yeah.
When Denny's, my father worked in Denny's, my father had to go to England, there was no work, blah, 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 blah. And then he came to us. Now, when Clover was closed, there was still O'Mara's and Matheson's.
Yeah.
So they took in some of our men, right? And that was it. But then when they closed, there's no more pork butchers. You know?
Yeah.
And that was the sad thing about it. There's no more pork butchers now. And where's the legacy of it? Do you know what I mean? Where, time to come, we have an altar down St. John's.
Yeah.
We have our memories. But our memories can pass on. There's nothing going to go to our children. They'll never know.
Yeah.
I never wanted to go into the baking factories.
Okay.
Most people didn't want to go in there. Because you were working there, nobody wants to be working with your father or your brothers. That was that young, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is it.
That's how it was, I suppose, as well.
And there was the great banter then, and so if you went to the dance, and you said, knock off that machine, if you went to the dance, knock it off.
Jerry just brought some stuff with him that we'll just go through quickly. So what are these, Jerry? So you've got membership cards.
That Clover meets us at the social club.
Okay, the social club. And when was this, Jerry? When did they start the social club?
It should be on the back of it. I was a matron in England for all those years.
Okay.
Right.
If you don't know, it's totally fine.
No, that one was,
71, is it?
what's that, 75?
That's 75. One of them was 71 and it was
76.
76, lovely.
76.
So you've 5 of them.
74.
74.
And 73.
73.
And this one is 71.
To 72.
72. So what happened is this, which is Clover Meets was going well at the time.
Yeah.
And they came up with all these ideas with the social club.
Yeah.
And there was a great initiative there.
That's very good.
But when the banks closed up on them then, things changed.
And this all stopped, the social club? Or?
Well, the whole place closed then. Do you know what I mean?
God.
But this was it, they just contribute to it.
Okay. And how come there's different colours on the front? Was that
Just as much to change it.
to change it up?
That's all, to
Very
make it look
good,
different. So
okay.
you wouldn't have the same one.
And what did you do in the social club? Is it
They'd have
soccer?
golf outings and
Yeah.
I have to hold that. Close that up. I have to tell you
Really?
the story.
No. What's that, guy?
That's it. After the big strike, we had to join the Transport Union.
Right.
So we had to pay more money then. So part of our money went to the Transport Union,
Right.
right? And that's what I'm saying is you have to pay so much every week.
So this is the Little Poor Butcher
That's the
Society members card,
members
1970.
card. So that's it. So you had to pay it all those years, you see. And that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying. And that was the whole story of it, yeah.
Oh, this is for the whole year. This is
That's
the card
it,
for
that's
the year.
it. So you take it down.
You can see it, yeah.
You take it down every 2 or 3 weeks, and they check, and they say to you then, you're in arrears. You were allowed
And
in
you have
arrears
to pay.
Yeah, you have to pay up, or else you won't be able to work. You know what I
Very
mean?
good.
So that was that was.
And this then is Poor Butchers, the working rules. It's
Yes,
very old, isn't it?
it is very old.
So
But
basically
you come
here
back
there's
like you know.
a good few years.
Yeah. But
There's
see,
10 rules here.
Well, I did the 4 of the Denny's there. My father was only a young man there. In that, do you know?
Okay.
So
And these, who owned these, Jerry?
my brother.
Your brother.
He's
And
dead
what
now
was
as well.
What was your brother's name?
Donald.
Donald.
But
Okay.
Michael is on his card.
Michael.
Michael is on his card.
And he signed as Michael, or?
Yeah, Michael.
Okay.
But they signed Michael because that was his name, but he was known as
okay.
Donald.
Oh, I get
Do you know what I
you
mean?
now,
So that's the
okay.
way it was.
And what are these?
His wife's
Sorry to interrupt you. Sorry, Jerry.
No, these are about
These are redundancy.
Yeah, what we got. You didn't get a whole lot of.
Okay.
You know what I mean? That's it was about a week, half week for every year.
This is your brother as well,
Yeah,
so
that's it, that's
occupation
all
is a
it was.
butcher.
Yeah.
Place of employment is Clover
Yeah.
Meats. Okay, he commenced it's the 4th of November 54,
Yeah.
and in the reason is for closure of factory. Okay. My
So he was there in
goodness.
54, but he was in Mars before that.
He was at Merrill. Oh,
So
very
he
good.
was about 45 years.
Okay,
In it.
a long time.
Do you know,
isn't
he
it?
was a long time, from a boy to
Yeah.
man. But that's what they all done.
My
They settled
goodness.
down in Limerick.
I'll just open these as
Do you
well,
know-
Jerry. That you've got something here on the wages. We might just were the wages good?
The wage was a standard, but if there was overtime, then you got
You got
You
extra.
got good. You got extra. Do you know what I mean?
So everyone
Yeah.
kind of wanted the overtime, I'd say, the day.
Yeah, every time. Do you know what I mean? This is what I'm saying. Everyone wanted, when there was overtime going, it went in rotation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you could be asked, and this is it.
My goodness.
Do you know what I mean?
And just this guy then, it's a hygiene supervisor notice.
I
What was that
didn't know- I
for?
didn't even know about that.
Didn't
like
you?
that.
Okay.
I did not know. This is it.
That's very
1971.
interesting. Yeah,
This-
1971, it's a
Yeah.
hygiene notice.
Yes.
And it was in your brother's name, is
Yeah,
it?
but because you see, there were some people were great workers,
I'll just see
and
that.
he was one of those. And he was a great worker. You know what I mean? He could do anything. He was a great butcher. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
So his job basically would entail improving and raising the standard of hygiene in the curing room area.
well, you see, the curing area would have to be because what would happen is this much is. When you kill the pigs, the next day you'd cut them apart, then they'd be come down from a slide, from up there, I would say, they come down to the slide here, and there was a table, and there was a big tank, massive tank.
Yeah.
Tank. Tank would be as long as that timber.
Okay, so
right?
it's fairly long.
So what you do then, when the pigs would come down, you would place them in the tank, you'd
So
throw a bit of
5
salt
meters
in
long.
them, then you'd leave them there. And then when the killing was over, you would batten down that tank then.
Yeah.
You would put all timbers along, and then all big timbers across, and the big timbers under there that you put them, wedge them in under. So then you fill it up with petrol.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about a pig.
Yeah.
The pig is the only animal. You have to kill him first before you can cure him.
Okay.
That's cured bacon. So you have to kill him first before you can cure him.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. And then 7 days later, 5 days later,
Whatever it is.
they'd open up the tanks, and then you take them all out and you stack them over themselves, and then they go out.
Okay.
So that was the way it went.
Very good, Jerry.
And with the hams then, the hams would be taken off and you'd be pump them, and then they put into containers, boxes. That's how you get the shape of the hams. So that was it now.
That was it.
That
And
was
you've got a procedural agreement from Clover Meats for the Irish Transport and General Workers Union.
That's
So
it.
what's this then, Jerry?
You see, that when, after the general big strike back in 1917, when the bishop fixed it, that we joined the Transport Union.
Okay.
The Transport Union is changed now since.
Okay.
Do you understand? So it's just been changed
They've altered it.
to change it now to what the union is there at the moment.
My God. Okay. You enjoyed it, I'd say, anyway, Jerry, did you?
What?
You enjoyed working there, I'd say.
I did.
Yeah.
They were lovely people.
And you still keep in touch with people that you knew
Oh, we
there?
do.
Yeah.
That's why.
You knew
And the
Jerry
thing-
and Jim and Ollie.
And the
yeah.
reason they asked me to come involved in this is because I was the last chairman in Clover Meats.
That's very
I was the
good.
last Clover chairman in Limerick there, because the chairman went down when I wasn't working.
Yeah.
Blah blah blah.
Very good.
But then there's a downside to all this as well, because if I went for an interview for a job afterwards and I said, "Where did you work last?" I would tell them I worked in Clover Meats. And then everyone knew in Limerick Clover Meats closed. To say what you do there. And then I'd be very honest and I'd say, I was the chairman when it closed,
Yeah.
right? And one personal man said to me, "You're very honest," he said. I said, "I believe in honesty." But he said, "If I had given you this job, I'd give it to you." But I didn't get the job. Because someone said on the floor, "We'll see you." I worked on the machines, but that's the way it goes.
Yeah.
Do you understand? So you suffer for where you were. But why should I deny
Yeah.
what was handed on to me? You have to live with yourself. And we had a lovely joke. We used to say, what can a poor butcher do that a pope can't do? And that's all it was. The pope can't become a pope butcher. His father wasn't a pope butcher, but you can become a pope. And that's the way. And what I loved about the pope, all those men with all their families and all the problems, and they were very faithful to the church.
Okay.
Their money went to the church. They were proud to be. Nowadays, we have loads. But everyone doesn't want to. If we mention you're a Catholic now, people walk away from you. So that's where our society has changed.
Yeah.
And it's not changed for the better.
Yeah.
That's it. You see. Is that knocked off?
No, Jerry, that's on.
Knock it off.
Will I knock it off again?
Yeah.
Okay, we'll just maybe we'll finish up there, Jerry.
That's it.
Will we? But I might contact you again if that's all
You
right.
can contact me.
Yeah, I have your number anyway.
You have my number.
Thank you.
Well, I
Yeah.
mean, this is it. Because the thing about this, what you do now, you're keeping alive the poor butchers.
Hopefully, this is what it's.
And
the
if
plan
and I
is,
said, I said to the boys, if we do get a stone up in William Street,
Yeah.
I'd have loved if the Russian ambassador would come down. I'm on record to send that.
Yeah.
For a simple reason is, we send people out to show us how to cure beer.
How to do it? Yeah.
And that's it. Now they could be down, and that's it. And that stone will be there. Now, not that people didn't like pork butchers. They say, you can't get in there unless you're a pork butcher. But I go back to when you couldn't, none of them could get a job. That's why those stores need to be told. That was Limerick in those times.
Yeah.
You went away to England.
Very different, isn't
It's
it?
very different. When we all, just see, it's like if you keep yourself closed, nobody's going to with you.
Yeah.
But if you open up yourself, what you see then,
It's completely different.
it's a completely different.
Yeah.
Isn't
Thank
it?
you, Jerry.
That's lovely.
Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
I'll stop these. Thank you very much.
No hassle.